Hello, my name is Precious Vines Harris, and I am the Single Maven. I help single Christian women find empowerment in their singleness. Thank you so much for joining me for this motivational moment. So, we're going to talk about something today that a lot of people encounter: the silence and the no callback. Okay. The title of today's post is When God's Silence is Your Answer. Let go and step into your next. So I think a lot of times it's hard to respond when there's silence, right? You may have recently applied for a job and you haven't gotten a call back. Or you went out on the first date with someone and you thought it was a great date. They didn't call you back and you're wondering why, right? It could be the fact that you applied for a business loan and you haven't really heard any follow-up or given some vague follow-up and you don't really know what the next step is, right? Many times when there's silence or a non-response, you are left in the dark as to what to do, right? It can be confusing for you because you're trying to figure out, if you put your best foot forward, what am I to do now? Am I to continue to follow up with that person? Am I to let it go? And you may be dealing with the emotional fallout of the fact that you actually invested a lot of time in this specific situation and the result is not necessarily what you would have it. And you think to yourself, is there something that I did wrong or could have done better? Or is it the fact that this is not the best opportunity for me? So what we're going to talk about today is how you actually respond in the moment when God may be silent on a specific issue that you've been praying about and you're waiting for that actual answer. You're not hearing anything and you don't know what to do, okay? So the first thing that I'm going to say, the first step you should take is be okay with the no or the non-response, okay? That may be hard for you to do because when you're passionate about something, you've been praying about something, you've put a lot of time and energy into it, and you thought that this may be a great fit, right? Let's just say that you're a single woman, you went out on a date, you put a lot of time and energy into this specific date or dating someone, you may have gone out a couple of times, one or two times, and you thought that everything was going great, right? You think that maybe we're compatible, we seem to be on the same page, but then the person ghosts you, right? You don't necessarily know if it was something that you did, something on their end, or it was just not a good match, right? But what I found in life is you have to be okay with the no or the non-response because not every opportunity is for you, right? Not every date is for you. Not every job opportunity or interview is for you. Not every business opportunity that you're trying to pursue is for you. Some things you're not going to necessarily get a yes on, and you have to be okay with it. Because at the end of the day, when you manage your expectations in any situation, meaning that you actually put enough emotional investment in it to put your best foot forward, do the best job possible, but understand that God's timing is best, right? If you pray about that specific opportunity, whether it be a relationship, whether it be something with a job, career, if you're applying for a home, whatever it is, and you don't receive a yes, right? The person is not affirmed that they're interested in following back up with you. You have to be okay with that because you're not going to get a yes in every specific situation, right? And with that actual acceptance, you alleviate the stress on yourself to do number two, stop the overthinking, right? Because when you actually are not okay with the non-response or the no, you start to overanalyze. So the second thing I would say for you to do is to stop overanalyzing and overthinking that specific situation. At the end of the day, if you hear silence, meaning there's not a response, the person ghosts you, or there's no follow-up in whatever capacity, don't overanalyze it because what you're going to do is you're going to start to overthink, overanalyze, and you're going to put yourself in a tailspin and get more stressed out about that particular situation, right? If God is not necessarily opening that door, meaning it's silent and you're not hearing a response, you have to be okay with it and don't overanalyze it. If you've put your best foot forward, if you thought about it, if you prayed about it, and there's nothing that you can see that you could have done differently, right? Things that you had control over, then at that point, number three, be okay to pivot. Because at the end of the day, a lot of life is pivoting, right? You have an opportunity or a season for one specific thing, then you're exploring the next thing, right? But you may not necessarily get a perfect match with whatever thing that you're pursuing. And you have to be okay with pivoting because at the end of the day, You don't need to waste time on something that's not a yes for you. So if that person that you thought was a great match doesn't call you back and you've put a few days into following back up and they don't respond, pivot and be okay with it, right? Because at the end of the day, you want to be able to be self-assured in yourself and understand not letting your self-esteem take a hit. It may take a little bit of a hit because you had your hopes up and it didn't happen, but not take a hit, meaning you're overanalyzing and you're actually getting down on yourself about that situation and not uplifting yourself, saying that I am a child of God and whatever door opportunity is for me, He will open it, right? Especially if it's within His will and His timing. And I think that's probably the fourth thing I would say to you is pray for God's timing and opportunities for the right door to open, because you don't want the wrong door to open to any relationship, to any job, to any business opportunity, any situation that you're hoping for, and that is the wrong door, okay? So if God is silent in that specific situation, 9 times out of 10, it's not the right opportunity for you. He wants you to pivot and go down another path, and He knows best. So you have to be willing to accept the fact that whatever silence that God has given you in that situation, meaning there may be a non-response or a ghosting or, maybe a vague answer of sorts, or the person may be taking longer than expected to give you that no, you have to be okay with it and trust God's timing in the process, right? Now, looking at my notes, I do want to actually give you a couple of more pointers before I bring it to a close. When you overanalyze something, it drains you. And that's one thing I know myself I have been guilty of. When you overthink, you overanalyze, and you put more time in it than necessary, you're not able to conserve your energy to move forward and pivot for the next opportunity, right? The second thing is you don't want to delay your ability to move forward, because then you may not see another opportunity that's right there in front of you. So you have to be willing to pivot, understanding that God's timing is perfect and that you have only control over what you have control over. Meaning if you've put your best foot forward, put in the best effort you cannot control anyone else's response. You have to be okay with whatever it is that you have control over, managing that and moving forward, okay? And I'm just looking at my notes to see if there's anything else. Romans 8:28 is the verse that I actually want you to meditate on as it relates to this specific topic. All things work together for the good of those who love the Lord. You have to recognize that all things will work to the good for you if you love God, if you are praying for His timing, and you understand that you trust His timing. All of those things will work together for your good, okay? So I hope this motivational moment was helpful for someone that has been hearing a no or a non-response, to understand specifically what steps that you can take to actually deal with that and be okay with that and move forward, okay? I want to thank you so much for joining me for this motivational moment. If you've not done so, I do ask that you subscribe to my channel, like this page, and comment below, okay? Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time.